talk to you about the makeup products that I took on our recent trip overseas. I hope you've seen part one where I've talked to you about the hair care, skincare and perfume products that I took on our recent trip. And as I mentioned in that last video, which I will link below, I mentioned to you that I was going to split this into two parts so that I could concentrate on those first and then the makeup products because it was going to be a little bit too long. But also I mentioned that the reason that I'm not doing a favourites post this month is because these products really do fit into the favourites category, because there's no way I would have taken these away if I didn't think that they were brilliant. When you have a huge selection you can choose from, particularly in the colour side of things, so when it comes to eyeshadow palettes or blush or lipsticks, most of us have a huge selection to choose from. So I wanted to really narrow down exactly what I took. I was really proud of what I took away because I really didn't feel that I was actually missing anything. And whilst it was great to come home and to have access to different colours and things like that again, and different lipsticks, I really didn't feel like I was missing out, because what I did choose, I really think I chose from a very sensible point, because they were sort of multi-use products. So let's get started. Now, when I'm looking at my base, obviously I want my base to be a great one where it actually evens out my skin tone and is the right colour. Also, if you are travelling, if you go to a warmer climate and you are inclined to tan, you also have to consider whether you need to take a foundation that's going to be able to cope with you being a little bit darker. If you do tan up naturally, I don't, so it's not so much of a problem for me. So when I was looking at what foundations to take, I narrowed it down to 3. Now you might think that that's quite a few, but there were reasons behind it, and I'll get into that now. So I chose to take my Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua. I love this. The container is really travel friendly. I even had the person that was booking us in from Adelaide on the beginning of our trip, she actually said to me, "What foundation are you using? Your skin looks beautiful." And I can tell you I was very excited, because it's lovely when people comment. And it was actually this foundation that I chose to actually leave Adelaide wearing. And this has an SPF of 15. I just find that this is so easy for me to use. Quite often I don't even use a brush. I just basically squirt it on, rub it into my face, and it leaves a flawless look. So that's why I took that one. Now I took 2 other products, foundations, and I took the Elizabeth Arden Flawless Finish Perfectly Satin 24 Hour, and also the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. Now a lot of people have been raving about the matte version of this. I'm not a huge fan of matte, so I always look for a more dewy foundation because I find that suits my skin better. The Elizabeth Arden one though is sort of a mix between the two. It gives a beautiful finish even on my skin, which can be is more aged than a lot of yours, but also tends to look a little bit flat when I use a matte foundation. This is a great one for in between, I really believe. I really adore this foundation. The Fit Me I like because it also has an SPF of 18, but it does leave my skin looking really moist and glowy. So with those 3, I covered all bases there. But that is a plastic container, no problems. I can put that in my bag without a drama. These 2 are in glass. Never travel with glass, so I decanted them into much smaller containers. So this one here is my Maybelline, and this one here is my Elizabeth Arden. Worked really, really well because I felt that I was probably going to wear more of the Maybelline and the Chanel than I was the Elizabeth Arden, and those 2 sizes worked exceptionally well. I also like to have a powder of some description. Normally I take a compact, but I decided not to this time, and I took my Laura Mercier Mineral Powder SPF 15 powder here in Real Sand. I adore this. This is my favourite powder to finish my makeup, and I pretty much haven't used anything else since I started using this, and I've had this probably for most of 2015. And because of the added SPF in here, it is great, another layer of protection as far as I'm concerned. But also it means I can also bring it all the way down my neck and my chest, and this is an absolute winner. And it leaves my skin with a lovely glow without being boom too sparkly, so love that. Blush. Boy oh boy, is this a hard decision for me, because I love my blush and I also have quite a large collection, and I really should do a video showing you the blushes that I have in my collection, because I do have quite a few. So I like to use both a cream and also a powder. Now I could have gone down, maybe there's three main colours that I have in my collection. I generally will have sort of the more neutral tones, the corals and the pinks. And hard decision as to which way to go. I decided to go down more the coral way, because that meant that I could, if I really wanted to, I could also, I felt that that was the most universal, but it also worked quite well with the lip colours I was taking away. And also if I wanted to have a bit more pink in my cheeks, I could always use one of my pink lipsticks to add that extra pop. So that's why I went down that path. Excuse the grottiness of this one. This is the Chanel Le Blush, and this one is in Revelation. This is gorgeous. I've been using this for most of this year. Really love this in conjunction with the Ellis Mineral Blush in Coral Sun. Now I have spoken about this in depth many times, because it is one of my favourite blushes, and you'd hardly even tell that I've used it. But those work really well together. So they were the two blushes, and I still cannot believe I only took two. Although I did actually, and I haven't got it with me, I did take a Max Factor one, which I will photograph and just give you a little explanation about that one too, because I did actually take one more, I've just remembered. But other than that, I think three blushes, pretty good. Now, in regard to concealing, two products I took away. I always use my Makeup Forever. This is a Camouflage Cream. This one here is great for me because I use this as my corrector for the dark circles that I have under my eyes. Love it. And then I took the, now it doesn't actually say, Touch of Glow Nude Wear by Physicians Formula. The consistency of this is beautiful. It is not a dry concealer, which quite often concealers can have that sort of dry consistency. This doesn't. It's more of a glowy finish. There is one problem though. The one thing I really hate about it, and is it's one of those pen type applicators, which are great in theory. You squeeze, turn the bottom and it dispenses the product. This one though tends to, you'll turn it, nothing comes. So you decide to turn it again, and then all of a sudden you get a huge gush of product. That annoys me no end, but the product is really great. So if they can sort that out, I will be 100% ecstatic over it. But obviously the product inside is fine. So I don't actually tend to use the brush to put it under my eyes. I tend to just sort of dab a little bit on my finger, otherwise I'll end up with too much on the under eye. Now, eyes. Trying to decide on which palette to take or what eyeshadows to take. That was a little bit of a challenge. However, I did the best that I possibly could, and I was really thrilled with what I decided to take. You're not going to believe it, I took one palette. And this is the Natural Matte Too Faced Matte Neutral Eyeshadow Collection. This is the bomb. So many different looks that you can get with this one palette. From day to night to really subtle. If you just want to have, if you're in a real hurry in the morning, you basically you can just rub the day. This one here is called Heaven, this sort of creamy colour, or this one down the bottom, Nude, is brilliant. And I've just realised one product I didn't bring down here that I did use as my primer underneath. Instead of taking an eye primer, I actually took a cream eyeshadow. Quite often I use cream eyeshadows, and the one that I took was a Benefit one, sort of a can't even remember what colour it is. It's sort of a bony, sort of got a bit of a sheen to it, and I will put those details in the blog post as well. And that was a great base, so I used that and any of those combinations of colours there, so it could take me from day to night. This is an absolutely beautiful palette, and particularly for people that are sort of in the older age bracket, having something that is all matte is an absolute winner to have in your collection. So I highly recommend that, and I got that from Mecca Cosmetica. Love it. Now, I don't use a huge amount of illuminator in my makeup. However, one product that I do use quite regularly in that sort of vein is actually a Bourjois eyeshadow, and this is in number 8. So I use this as my illuminator for the top of my cheeks, a Cupid's bow. I love to put this, just a little dab of this right in the center of my eyelid. It tends to pop, and particularly when I'm using all mattes, just adding that little something really helps to open the eyes. So this always comes with me. I have been using this particular one for a good 3 years, and as you can see, still a hell of a lot of product yet to go. So highly recommend that. Eyes. I only took a few things away, as you saw before. I had the eye palette, but I also used some of those colours as eyeliner. Just wet the liner brush and use that as your eyeliner. But as always, travel with the Master Precise liquid liner by Maybelline. I've been using this for years. Probably this is number 10 I think I've probably bought over the time. Love it, love it, love it. It's got to come with me, and I use it most days. And for a kohl pencil, if I wanted to add just a little more definition underneath my eyes, which I don't tend to do a huge amount underneath my eyes because of having large eyes for a start, and also being a little bit older, I think I want to make the attention at the top of my eye rather than trying, defining underneath. So I love Clarins kohl pencils, so I took the brown one away with me. It works really well with the other products that are the other colours in that Too Faced palette. So I only took one kohl pencil, one liquid liner, and the palette. I think that's pretty good. Obviously my Shu Amura eyelash curlers. Now they don't come with these little red things on there, so you're wondering what are those? Mine don't have that. I took that off another eye curler that I had that I liked, the Comfort, so that's why they're there. But other than that, these Shu Amura ones are brilliant. And I took a sample of the Benefit Roller Lash. You can't tell from this packaging because this was one that I was given before they even put it in the proper packaging. And so that's the brush. Hopefully you'll see that. But I love the Roller Lash. It's been my go-to mascara for a good probably 4 months, 5 months maybe. Love it. And apart from lips and brows, that's it. But brows obviously can't go anywhere, cannot walk out the door without having done my brows. So I decided to only take 2 products, and I took the new Natural Eyebrow Pencil by Crop. Now this is a brand that's only just been released in Australia, and a lot of their products are, the colours and so forth are, well, they're actually all made, it's proudly Australian owned, but made in the EU. And I was looking at their eyeshadows and their blush and those sorts of things, and a lot of their colour is actually coming from Italy. And so a lot of their products are coming out of there, and I was really impressed. This one here in blonde, as you can see, it's got the little brow brush on the top there. That works really well. It's quite a stiff brush. Now, what was interesting is I normally use a darker pencil than blonde. I tend to go sort of for a brown, a more medium brown, because my eyebrows are darker. But I really liked the finish, and I really liked the colour, which really surprised me. So anyway, this Crop brand is really inexpensive, and I've been really impressed. I have tried some of their other products, which I will be talking about later, but this is one of their products I took away. Love it. And as always, Gimme Brow by Benefit. Love, love, love it. And perfect size as well, and keeps my brows in check. So then we come into lips. Now, as you can imagine, most of us have a reasonable collection of lipsticks, and I have quite a few. So I really had to think about what are the colours that I feel are going to be the best for me whilst we're travelling. And I narrowed it down to 4. Can't really believe I did that, but worked exceptionally well. So when I wanted to have something that was more of a nude, sort of natural look, a more subtle look, I chose to take the this Bobbi Brown lipstick, which I absolutely adore. This is in Natural Pink. It's the sheer lip colour. Hopefully, the photos and everything hopefully will show it up. But that is a really pretty pale pink that suits me. It's probably more a nude on me, because I'm not a nude lip lover, but that one works exceptionally well. So that's my more subtle. If I wanted a more strong sort of reddy sort of colour that wasn't really red, I decided to take this one here, which is my Bite Beauty lip crayon, and this is in Chablis. And this is really easy to use just as a traditional sort of crayon. It lasts really, really well, but is a really pretty colour. For red, I'm not great at applying red lipstick, and I haven't quite got the perfect red, I don't think, but I wanted something that had that sort of colour that was, you know, a bit more punch to it, but not necessarily a red lip. So the Max Factor, this is a lip balm, and it's in Luscious Red. This is so moisturising on the lips and gives a really lovely glow, and I found that I was wearing this a lot on the trip. If I wanted to have a slightly stronger red lip, I actually used it on top of that Bite Beauty Chablis pencil, and it really added that bit more depth to the lip. But I really like these Max Factor lip balms. They really do feel beautiful on the lip. And for, wouldn't be the same if I didn't have a pink lipstick in my collection, and I chose to take the Elizabeth Arden Rose Petal. This is a more matte lipstick. This lasts exceptionally well on me, and so I find by putting this on in the morning, particularly when you're traveling, you don't want to constantly be touching up. Put this on in the morning and I could still easily eat, drink, etc., and I'd only have to reapply once during the day. And that's a huge winner for me. I love the texture of it. I actually had somebody come up and ask me what lipstick I was wearing when I was wearing this, because they said that it really did suit my colouring, and so that was the one that I took. That was it as far as the colour and the makeup, which I think is pretty impressive. A couple of other things that obviously you need to have is a lip balm of some description, because it can be very drying on the plane and also when you're traveling. And I took the Uriage stick, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Lèvres, I don't know. But anyway, it is a really nice lip balm, which works really well for both male and female, because it is a more matte balm. So it gives you that moisturising finish without that real glossiness. So that works really well when you're using it underneath a matte lipstick for a start, but also can be unisex, because, you know, some men don't like to have really glossy looking lips but still need to have the moisture. So that one was a really good addition to have with us. And when I wanted to have more of a glossy finish, no trip would be the same if I didn't have my Elizabeth Arden 8 Hour Cream. And that I also used to sort of put my eyebrows in place if they were a bit unruly during the day. I used it also on some dry spots on my feet, which were really suffering from all the walking. So that is something that I really think you should have in your travel bag. Last but not least, brushes. And so I really narrowed down what I was going to take. This is the brush case that I took with me, and as you'll see in here, there's a few brushes there and a few brushes here. I'll just quickly run through what I took. My foundation brush, which is the Sigma flat top synthetic kabuki, the F80. I have a couple of these, absolutely adore them, been using them for years, and I just love the way that my makeup looks when I use that. The Nude by Nature one, this is their sort of powder brush. This is sensational. Nude by Nature products are really inexpensive, and I've used quite a few of their products, but this brush is the standout as far as I'm concerned. It is so soft, and I use this to apply that Laura Mercier mineral foundation over the top, all down my neck as well as all over my face. Couldn't live without that. Absolutely adore it. My Sigma Duo Fiber Powder Blush F15. This is the one that I use for my blush, and I must wash all of these brushes, need a wash. To pat any or to get into any of the little crevices around my nose, or to pat a little bit of the powder foundation underneath my eyes, the Real Techniques setting brush. Can't live without that. That is sensational. And as I said to you before, but I didn't show you, the cream eyeshadow that I took, the Benefit one, I like to apply that with a synthetic brush. So this one's actually by Mask, M-A-R-S-K, and I think I got that in a Lust Have It bag, and really very, very good brush for that. As far as my eye ones, this is all I took. So I have the one that I applied my main part of my powder. This is the MAC 282 SE brush. I use that most days. For getting into the real crease, I used a Bobbi Brown Eye Smudge brush. I took 2 of the E25 blending brushes by Sigma. So one for my more dark colours, this one I used for the lighter colours and washed them in between. The Detailer brush by Real Techniques. And then I used this one. This one is a brush that came with a Maybelline gel pot. And this one here I can use for both liner and also for lip. So that was a really good inclusion. So there you have it. There are all the makeup products that I took on our recent trip. They fitted into one small bag, although this one's actually overflowing purely because I've got those other foundations in there, but it did all fit into this quite neatly, and I didn't feel like I missed anything. So hopefully that's useful to you. If you want me to do a full review of any of the products that I've just spoken about, please let me know in the comment section, or otherwise go onto the blog, read the blog post and leave a comment there, because I'd love to talk to you about other things that might have sparked your interest. So thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you again really soon. Take care. Bye.